para Carlos Alcaraz. Entregan el premio Rampi Limoña, este Jorge de la verdad que entrevista a hermana Piri, colaborador que nos dijimos de la verdad, y lo recogen en sus capítulos. Enhorabuena.
Carlos Alcaraz just won Best Athlete of the Year for the 4th consecutive time in the region of Murcia. And while most people celebrated, the haters came out fast. They said he doesn't deserve it. They said other athletes had better years. They said winning 2 Grand Slams, finishing as ATP year-end number 1, and dominating the tour wasn't enough. But here's the thing. The people whose opinions actually matter voted for him. And now Alcaraz is making it clear his only goal for 2026 is winning the Australian Open. Do you think Alcaraz deserves to be called Best Athlete of the Year? Or are there other athletes who had better seasons? Let's talk about what just happened. Carlos Alcaraz won Best Athlete of the Year for the 4th consecutive time in the region of Murcia. That's 4 years in a row. And this isn't some random award. This is recognition from his home region, the people who've watched him grow from a kid with a dream to one of the best tennis players in the world. And yet, the haters couldn't let this moment pass without trying to tear him down. Some people said he doesn't deserve it because he didn't win every tournament he entered. Others said there are athletes in other sports who had better years. And some just couldn't stand seeing a young guy succeed at this level. But here's the reality. Alcaraz had an incredible 2025. He won 2 Grand Slams. He finished as the ATP year-end number 1. He had a 71-9 match record. He dominated the tour. And he did it all while staying humble and grounded. So yeah, he deserves this award. And anyone who says otherwise is just hating. Now, at the event where he received the award, Alcaraz took some time to talk to the media, and he made it crystal clear what his goal is for 2026, winning the Australian Open. That's it. That's the priority. And honestly, it makes perfect sense, because the Australian Open is the only Grand Slam Alcaraz hasn't won yet. He's got the French Open, he's got Wimbledon, he's got the US Open. But he's never made it past the quarterfinals in Melbourne, and that's eating at him.
Bueno, al final yo creo que es un premio muy bonito, ¿no? Para alguien que intenta llevar el nombre de Murcia, que quiera su tierra como lo hago yo, que al final para mí lo es todo, pues que le den un reconocimiento al mejor deportista es increíble. Y más sabiendo los grandes deportistas que están saliendo de aquí de la región de Murcia, ¿no? Pues que me lo puedan dar a mí, pues la verdad que significa mucho y es una gran alegría.
Hace siempre un esfuerzo por venir, ¿no?
Sí, obviamente, al final, como he dicho, al final es un premio muy bonito, ilusionante para mí, para mi familia, y el hecho de que, bueno, ya que no estoy mucho tiempo en casa, pero esta fecha me pilla por aquí, pues para mí es un placer poder recibirlo en persona.
Alcaraz said this week he's starting his preseason, and he's excited to work hard and prepare physically and mentally for the start of the year. He said his clear goal for 2026 is to win the Australian Open. And he acknowledged that the good and the bad thing about it is that it's the first tournament of the year. Because starting the season with a Grand Slam means you don't have much time to build up competitive rhythm. You have to be ready from day one. And for Alcaraz, that's been a challenge. He's played 15 matches in Melbourne so far with a record of 11-4. That's not bad. But for a player of his caliber, not making it past the quarterfinals is frustrating, and Alcaraz knows it. He said the fact that the Australian Open takes place at the beginning of the season makes it complicated for him to arrive with competitive rhythm. But he wouldn't say he performs poorly. He said other players just handle that context better. And he's right. Some players thrive at the start of the season. They use the off-season to recharge, come back fresh, and dominate from day one. Djokovic is a perfect example. He's won the Australian Open 10 times. 10. And part of that is because he knows how to prepare for it. He knows how to peak at the right time. And Alcaraz is still figuring that out. But the fact that he's aware of the issue and working on it is huge. Because self-awareness is the first step to improvement. Alcaraz also said he believes he's played very good tennis in Australia, and that small details have led to his defeats. He said he lacks that final push to advance, but he thinks and hopes that this year will be different. And honestly, there's no reason it shouldn't be. Alcaraz is only 22. He's still improving. He's still learning. And he's already one of the best players in the world. So yeah, there's every reason to believe he can win the Australian Open in 2026. But let's talk about why winning the Australian Open is so important to Alcaraz. Because it's not just about adding another Grand Slam to his collection. It's about becoming the youngest player ever to win all 4 Grand Slams. Right now, that record belongs to Novak Djokovic, who completed the career Grand Slam at 24. If Alcaraz wins the Australian Open in 2026, he'll do it at 22. That's historic. That's the kind of achievement that puts you in the conversation with the all-time greats. And Alcaraz knows it. Now, some people might say Alcaraz is putting too much pressure on himself by making this his top priority, that he should just focus on playing his best and let the results come naturally. And there's some truth to that. But here's the thing. Alcaraz is a competitor. He thrives under pressure. He plays his best tennis when the stakes are highest. So yeah, making the Australian Open his top priority might actually help him. Because it gives him something to focus on, something to work toward. And that kind of motivation can be powerful. But of course, the haters had to chime in. Some people said Alcaraz doesn't deserve to be called Best Athlete of the Year because he didn't win the Australian Open. They said winning 2 out of 4 Grand Slams isn't enough. And honestly, that's such a ridiculous take. Because winning 2 Grand Slams in 1 year is incredible. Most players never win a single Grand Slam in their entire career. But Alcaraz won 2, and he's only 22. So yeah, he deserves every bit of recognition he's getting. And then there are the people who compared him to other athletes in other sports. They said soccer players or basketball players had better years. And look, those athletes are great. But this is a tennis award. And in tennis, Alcaraz had one of the best years of anyone. He finished as the ATP year-end number 1. He won 2 Grand Slams, he dominated the tour. So yeah, he deserves this award, and comparing him to athletes in completely different sports is just lazy. Let's also talk about Alcaraz's consistency, because it's not just about winning big tournaments. It's about showing up week after week and performing at a high level. And Alcaraz does that. His 71-9 match record proves it. That's an 88% win rate. That's elite. And he's doing it while facing the best players in the world. So yeah, his consistency is just as impressive as his Grand Slam wins. But here's what really bothers the haters. Alcaraz is young, talented, successful, and likable. And that combination drives people crazy. Because some people can't stand seeing someone have it all. They want to find flaws. They want to tear him down. They want to convince themselves that he's not as great as everyone says. But the facts don't lie. Alcaraz is one of the best players in the world. And he's only getting better. Now, let's talk about Alcaraz's preseason. Because this is where the work gets done. This is where champions are made. Alcaraz said he's excited to work hard and prepare physically and mentally for the start of the year. And that's exactly what he needs to do. Because the Australian Open is in less than 2 months. And if he wants to win it, he needs to be in the best shape of his life, physically and mentally. The physical preparation is obvious. Tennis is a grueling sport. You're running, jumping, sliding, hitting for hours at a time. And Grand Slams are best of 5 sets, which means matches can last 4 or 5 hours. So you need to be in peak physical condition. And Alcaraz knows that. He's been working with his team to make sure he's ready. And based on what we've seen from him in the past, there's no reason to doubt that he'll be in great shape come January. But the mental preparation is just as important. Because tennis is a mental game, especially at the Grand Slam level. You're facing the best players in the world. You're dealing with pressure. You're managing nerves. and you have to stay focused for 2 weeks straight. That's not easy, but Alcaraz has shown time and time again that he thrives under pressure. He won the US Open at 19, he won Wimbledon at 20, and again at 21. He knows how to handle big moments, and that mental toughness is going to be crucial if he wants to win the Australian Open. Now, let's talk about Alcaraz's competition, because the Australian Open is stacked. Djokovic will be there, Sinner will be there, Medvedev will be there, Zverev will be there. All the top players will be gunning for the title, and any one of them could win it. But here's the thing, Alcaraz has beaten all of them before. He's proven he can compete with anyone. He's proven he can win on the biggest stages. So yeah, the competition is tough. But Alcaraz is tougher. And let's not forget, Alcaraz has a secret weapon, his coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero. Ferrero was a former world #1 and a French Open champion. He knows what it takes to win at the highest level. And he's been working with Alcaraz since he was a teenager. Their partnership has been incredible. And Ferrero's guidance is going to be crucial as Alcaraz prepares for the Australian Open. But here's what really sets Alcaraz apart. His attitude. He's not arrogant. He's not cocky. He's humble. He respects his opponents. He respects the game. And he's always looking to improve. Even after winning 2 Grand Slams and finishing as the year-end number 1, he's not satisfied. He wants more. He wants to win the Australian Open. He wants to complete the career Grand Slam. He wants to be the best. And that hunger is what makes him special. Now, let's talk about the haters one more time. Because they're not going to stop. Even if Alcaraz wins the Australian Open, they'll find something to criticize. They'll say he got lucky, or that his draw was easy, or that the competition wasn't that tough. Because that's what haters do. They move the goalposts. They find excuses. They refuse to give credit. But here's the thing. Alcaraz doesn't need their approval. He's got the respect of his peers. He's got the respect of the legends. And he's got the results to back it up. And honestly, the haters are just proving how great Alcaraz is. Because if he wasn't great, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't waste their time criticizing him. The fact that they're so obsessed with tearing him down shows how threatened they are by his success. And that's the ultimate compliment. Let's also talk about what this award means. Best Athlete of the Year in the region of Murcia is a big deal. It's recognition from his home, from the people who've supported him since day one. And winning it 4 years in a row shows just how dominant he's been. Because it's not just about one great year, it's about sustained excellence. And that's what separates good athletes from great ones. Now, some people might say this award doesn't matter on a global scale, that it's just a regional thing. And sure, it's not like winning the ATP Player of the Year award, but it matters to Alcaraz, and it matters to the people of Murcia, because they're proud of him. They've watched him grow, and they're celebrating his success, and honestly, that's beautiful. That's what sports are all about. But let's get back to the Australian Open, because that's what everyone's going to be watching. That's where Alcaraz is going to prove himself. And if he wins it, the haters are going to have to find something new to complain about, because at that point, he'll have won all 4 Grand Slams. He'll be the youngest player ever to complete the career Grand Slam. And he'll have silenced every single doubter. And here's the thing, I believe he can do it. Because Alcaraz has shown time and time again that he rises to the occasion. When the stakes are highest, he plays his best tennis. And the Australian Open is the biggest stage. So yeah, I'm betting on Alcaraz. And if you're smart, you will too. So yeah, the haters are in envy. They're watching Alcaraz win awards, dominate the tour, and set his sights on the Australian Open. And they can't stand it. But their hate doesn't change the facts. Alcaraz is one of the best players in the world. He's only 22, and he's just getting started. So buckle up, because 2026 is gonna be the year of Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz just won Best Athlete of the Year for the 4th consecutive time, and he's made it clear his only goal for 2026 is winning the Australian Open. The haters can keep talking, but Alcaraz keeps proving them wrong. If you want more updates on Alcaraz and the biggest moments in tennis, hit that like button and subscribe. This journey's just getting started.